Hello, my name is Anne, and welcome to episode 10 of a Tobyknits Quilty Fun. In this episode, we talk about my newest passion, which is quilting. I'm very new to it. I only started it at the beginning of the thing that's nearly over now, let's hope. Because I needed something else to do, and I had watched a sewing channel and became really interested in it, and that sewing channel, if you didn't know, is Sew Becca. I loved watching her sew. She has all these great cameras. I just have an iPhone, but she has all these great cameras set up so you can really watch her sew. And I loved watching her sew very much. And so she was telling us, she was doing a puzzle mystery from Cotton Cuts. And so naturally I signed up. And she was also then showing us a block of the month that was part of the Sew Sampler box. So when I went to check that out, and realized that the Sew Sampler was from the Fat Quarter Shop in the States, who also do a lot of cross stitch. Then I went down this whole big rabbit hole and started quilting. So thanks, Becca, it's your fault. Actually, I spent a really nice afternoon with her today. It's funny you should say that, because like she lives somewhere in the States. I don't even know where, but somewhere in the States. But because of FaceTime and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, anyway, she has a YouTube channel, so check it out. And she does lives on her YouTube channel. Now, I think I can start doing them if I have 1,000 subscribers, I think. Or maybe I can already, I don't really know. But if you think it would be fun to do a live on our little Tobyknits community, drop me a note below and let me know if you want to do that, because then we can just sit and chat while I'm quilting. But I don't know if I can get the nice camera angles that Becca does, but whatever. Anyway, so today she did one for, I think she was on for like 2 hours, and she was catching up on some of her quilts. And then I was quilting at the same time, so I had my headphones on so I could hear, because over the noise of the machine. Not that my machine is very noisy, my new machine is very quiet actually, but sometimes you miss what people are saying, so I put headphones on and put my YouTube on, and then I just, you know, carry on. So it was a very nice afternoon. So thanks, Becca. Anyway, where was I? So, oh yes. So I started quilting and am totally loving it. I did subscribe to the Sew Sampler box, and my very first box that arrived was May of 2021. And a day or so ago, I forget what day it was exactly, I finished that project. Now, that sounds ridiculous. Took me that long to do a project? No. The projects do go quite quickly, but the way I do it is you get in the box. Actually, let me just show you, because I just literally got this one in, which I think, yes, this is the December 2021, and they're so far behind right now. They're really struggling trying to catch up, but this was December. So inside it, you get some fabric. Now, in this instance, it's a jelly roll, which are 2.5-inch wide strips by length of fabric. And they are all from a particular, let's see if I can get it open, all from a particular line. So this line is Celestial by Zen Chic, and they're Moda fabrics. And they're very abstracty, very pretty. I don't know what's on some of them. If they're, I don't want to unroll it, so I'm not going to. But anyway, they're very pretty. Very, very pretty. So you get this. You also then get a pattern, and these are exclusive only to the Sew Sampler boxes. You can buy this jelly roll, and you can get different types of pre-cuts in this line, but you cannot get this pattern. And then what it tells you to do in this booklet, it shows you how to put it all together, but it also tells you what you're going to need to go with it. So in this case, you're going to need your jelly roll, and then you're going to need a gray solid, and it tells you how much you need to buy of that. And then it's going to tell you what you might need for the binding and the background. So typically what I do is I've been trying my best to grab plain fabrics. Sometimes I just go to Walmart and get theirs. I know they're not the best quality fabric, but I can always afford to go and buy 4 or 5 meters of you know, a Moda, God, I can't think of the word. What am I trying to find? A solid, a plain solid. But I have been trying to get some in and have them on hand, like a gray or a white or a dot, you know, because they're all very nice, the Swiss dot ones. So then I make them with my background that I have, and it's at the very end that I decide what backing I'm going to put on it. Am I going to go to my local store and just pick some kind of backing that will match the line, or am I going to go and get some fabric from the line from, say, Fat Quarter Shop or Moda or wherever? So that's how I do it. So I've started the Leaves quilt, which is what the one is from the May of 2021. And I actually finished that within a month, but it took me ages to decide what I wanted to do for a background. And then when it came, I didn't know if I wanted to send it away to be quilted or if I wanted to quilt it, because I didn't know if I was good enough yet to quilt on my machine myself. And I didn't want to mess it up. Anyway, let's get back to the box and then I'll tell you about the leaves. So that's the pattern. And I really like this particular, it's very abstract-y. It's very, anyway, I think I might make this for one of my daughter-in-laws. Also in the box, they send us a couple of notions. So they sent us some needles. And again, you know, when you've always sewn but not quilted, I didn't realize there was a difference between a quilting needle and a regular sewing needle. And there is. The quilting needles are so tiny. I mean, look how tiny that needle is. It's ridiculous. They also sent this, which I thought was a bit weird. But I'll show you. It's not really that weird. It looks a bit weird, but it's not. And apparently, I'm not sure how it opens. And I have, oh, you pull it. This comes up and you think, a lipstick? They sent me a lipstick. Have you seen that Uber ad where she opens up the Uber Foods or Eats or whatever, and she opens up and sees this lipstick and then she starts eating it? Anyway, but this is a pincushion, ladies and gentlemen. So you would stick a couple of pins in. So if you were going somewhere and you needed to take some pins, this is your thing. Anyway, so we got that. And we also got a quilting diary. And if you know me, you know how much I love my diary. Now, this would be perfect if we'd got this in December when we were meant to have got the box. But it is really nice book. Every month has this and a different design. Can't turn the page. So this was quite nice, I thought. And this is what the whole thing would make, because there must be like 9 blocks in here or something. And it tells you the name of blocks, which is another thing that I love, because I'm starting to know that that's a churn dash. And I'm starting to know that that's a friendship star, but there's definitely other ones in here that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that was an Ohio star. And a bear claw. So it's very interesting. And then apparently this, and on the back there are a couple of little things telling you what a pre-cut is and blah, blah, blah. So this booklet is from Riley Blake's Designs, and it does tell you that if you want to know how to make those particular blocks that they're showcasing each month, on their YouTube channel, there is a series called Building Blocks, and that's where you can find, I guess, the pattern and watch them making it. So this is a really cool book. And then the other thing that's in here is they do a block of the month with Sherri from Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life. And the block of the month is called, or the sampler is called Bright Side. And each month it's a different block. And the block for this month, I'm trying not to show it there, is that. And I think there's 12 of them. So this is block 9, and I have done all 9 of them. So that's the Sew Sampler, which I do love. So now, without further ado, I shall show you. And I've made one for Bob. The one I finished last month for Bob was the Mon Cheri. That was October's. I made table runners at Christmas for all the kids, my 2 sons, the stepdaughter, and us. So I made 4 of them with, I think that was the July one. Yeah, that was July. And then I'm just starting a new one, which I'm going to show you now, for one of my daughter-in-laws. So, but first, let me show you my finished leaves quilt, because it is absolutely and utterly gorgeous. I love it. Here it is, all finished. It's really hard to show you here. It really is hard to show you. So I'll put a picture of what it looks like up on my wall in the dining room. Right here. So the backing, I finally decided, and I ordered this from the Fat Quarter Shop, and this is lovely. And then you'll see that the quilting that I did, and I did something different because I'm still learning. I'm trying all different things. So with this one, I did quilt it with a ruler quilter. And the ruler that I used was from Silly Moon Co., which is a Canadian company. They make them themselves. And what I like about this particular company is the ruler that they have. Let me just get it and show you. Okay, I'm back. So the ruler that they have, this one is called the Edgy 6. And it has all these great lines on, which I found very useful when I was quilting, because I would go to a certain, well, here, when I did the pianos, the piano keys, which come down the side all the way down. So what I did was I would put the ruler here, go along with the ruler foot on my machine to the end. When I got to the end, I then put this here, and do you see that line in the middle? I lined up the second line here on the previous one I just done, and went as far as this line with the ruler coming, with the foot coming down this side of the ruler. Then I stopped. Then I put it underneath, went to this side. Then I did the same thing. I put the second line on, I went down the side. Of course, you can't see that because it's now covered with the binding. I did try to go into the seam here. Most times I got it, a few times I missed, but that's how I did the ruler quilting. And then here, again, I used this, and I lined up my ruler foot and this with the seam, so that when I stitched, because you're 1/4 of an inch anyways with the ruler foot, it came down there. Then I would just switch that to there and went that way. Then I went like that and went that way, like that and went that way. And the nice thing about when you rule a quilt is you're not moving the quilt. The quilt stays exactly where it is under your table. You're moving the ruler. So I really enjoyed that, and that's what I did. I did every leaf, and then I did the piano keys stitch all the way down, and then I put the binding on. Now, I always put the binding on with a walking foot, which is what I did, but I typically hand stitch the binding down. This time, I sewed it down, which is why you can see it on this side. I didn't do it where it went in the seam, because I know some people can do that. I'm not that good yet. So I didn't care. I used a brown color, so you can't really tell anyway. You can't hardly see the stitching. But I literally just turned it over and stitched on the other side, as near to the edge as I could get. And it worked. And so basically, if I'd have hand basted that together, like if I'd have hand sewn that all together, it would have taken me 2 or 3 evenings. But it took me half an hour on the machine. So I loved that. As I get better at my stitches and understanding where my feet go and where my, it'll get better. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. Really am. And loved every minute of that. So these are the rulers. As I say, there's this one, the Edgy 6 from Silly Moon Quilting, and there's also this one which you can do shapes and things. I didn't use this one, but you can. And this particular one is also the same size as a charm square. So it's 5 inches. The other really awesome thing about these rulers, look how thin they are. They are 1/8 of an inch. They're not a 1/4 inch. I have a low shank machine, so you would use a 1/4 inch foot or whatever it is, ruler foot. But I still found I couldn't get around the back with a regular 1/4 inch ruler. So they do the 1/8 inch. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. So you can order these directly from Silly Moon, or you can actually get them in Taylor's, my quilting shop in Brockville. And they've got loads. They've got a really nice one. It looks like a maple leaf that you can make shape. And then there's another one that's a heart. So I think I'll be getting more of these. Really enjoyed doing that. So that means, because I do tend to monogamously work on a quilt. I do my blocks of the month each month, and there's usually two of them, sometimes 3, but mostly 2. There's the Quilting Life one, and then the Sew Sampler one. And but of course the Sew Sampler one, I have to wait till the box comes. But the other one, the Quilting Life one, which is, I should show you, from Sherri McConnell. It's on her website. She also does a video each month as well, and it's free. It's a free sew along. So this one is today's or March's. So there's January's and February's, and this one is March. So they look like this now. So there's January's and February's. And this was the one I did on Sunday, which is March. And I don't know if I'll do 6-inch blocks again, to be honest. And the only reason I did the 6-inch blocks, because I was originally going to do the 12-inch blocks, was because I only wanted to use a fat 1/8. And I had got a fat 1/4 bundle from a petite fat 1/4 bundle, as they are called, which is 12 fat quarters in a design. And this design layout, this is, I forgot, I'll put it on the bottom if I can remember what it was. But this one, I wanted to use a fat quarter bundle, split it in half to make 2 sets of fat 8s and make 2 quilts. Just being frugal. And so I did that. So the 6-inch block calls for fat 8s. So that's why I chose to do the 6-inch. But look at all these teeny tiny squares. You know, this is a half square triangle and flying geese here. Look how tiny they are. And I can tell that I've puckered some of them because they're not laying flat. As you know, here's the back, which is a mess of seams. So I am enjoying it immensely, but I don't know if I really want to finish all the 6-inch blocks. What I was thinking, tell me what you think of this. What I was thinking was, if I make another one, so make the next 6-inch for April, and then make 4 of the 12-inch. Nah, that's just way too complicated. That's math. I'll keep doing these. So these are the little 6-inch, and every one of them each month will have a churn dash around the outside. I think I might make my churn dashes in advance. I've usually just been doing them as I make the block, but I think I might try and do them in advance. But anyway, so that's the block of the month. So that one is what I'm doing, and then I will work next week on the Sew Sampler block of the month that I just got in, which means I needed a new full quilt to make. So I decided to make this, which I think was the June Sew Sampler, if I'm not much mistaken. So this was in my June box, and it's called Unraveled. And believe it or not, it's 2 blocks. And believe it or not, the block is the same block, but with a different fabric connotation. So here is block 1, and you've got the dark colors of the flying geese on the outside of the block, and then you've got your colors. Probably goes that way better. And then here is block 2, which has the flying geese turned the other way. So it looks like a square, it looks like a big plus sign. And again, it's still got your, isn't that cool the way it looks like that? So it's basically you make up a bunch of these and a bunch of them, and then you just alternate them on the thing. And the fabric is from, it's called The Seamstress, and it's Laundry Basket Quilts. So that is what I've started. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 made up of the blocks already. I've got all of the blocks for this one cut out, so with the dark fabric at this inside, and so it's all ready to go. So there, that's it for today. So I hope you have enjoyed the video of Quilty Fun. Please like and subscribe, tell your mates, and stop by next Friday for some more Quilty Fun, or Monday for knitting, Tobyknits. And then don't forget, Wednesdays is also Floss Tube. Just in case you didn't know, because, you know, might be new here. If you are, great, welcome, come back. Okay, gotta go. Okay, bye.